Just want to let you lot know that if you're watching this clip on the Fozcast YouTube channel, the full episode is now available to watch exclusively on Spotify, and it's free. Come on.
In both of your opinions, what age is the right age for young players to go into an academy?
Oh, Robbo, you.
I mean, I personally believe that they shouldn't be too young. What's your thoughts, guys?
Love this.
I think you get the two types of players that are naturally built for academy football, or they're not ready for it at all until the later stages, which I'm a big believer in the way it goes sometimes in the academy. You could be in there from the ages of 9, but it's earlier, but from 9 all the way up to 16, and you get told you're not getting a contract. That's the most devastating news that you want to hear, that you've worked all of that. Or you go and carry on playing grassroots football with your mates, having fun. You get past the 16, 17 age, you're not told you're getting a contract, you're not getting a contract, but you're still having fun with your mates. But then you get later on in your career and you're playing at a level where you're now getting recognised and you're getting watched by scouts, and then you go into that environment. I find it's better because, one, you've played against proper men and you've developed at a young age to get beaten up by men and kicked around the pitch, and then you go into that environment where you're ready-made. Whereas in academies, are they ready-made for it?
That's a good point. But Ben, just on the flip side of that, just to play devil's advocate, if you're getting top-level coaching from the age of, let's say, 10 to 17, whereas, like Paul was just describing, are then those kind of Sunday League players at a disadvantage?
Yeah, without doubt. I still think the coaching can be good depending on the coaches and who's doing it. But I just think I prefer the latter model that you spoke about there, Robbo, where I think it makes you more of a rounded individual, more of a rounded footballer, more robust, more resilient. Towards the end of my career, I saw some of the young players coming through, and I just think they're a little bit too mollycoddled, a little bit too wrapped in cotton wool. Everything's kind of been handed on a plate to them. Again, you get the certain individuals, it's about their character, what they are as a person. You get the odd one that sticks out and you think, oh, he's got a real good chance he has, because his mentality, his professionalism, the way he approaches it is done properly and it's in the right manner. But I do worry that in that academy system, I think if they are a real shining light and they're exposed to first team action or first team training early doors, that then leads with a new contract and being hyped up, and I do think that can be damaging. So I don't believe in putting kids in an academy from a young age whatsoever. My personal experience is I left school at 16. I was a chef for 2 years playing non-league football, but it afforded me that roundedness where I appreciated what it looked like to go out and work 40, 50-hour weeks in a kitchen, sweating, working hard.
And probably less pressure, Ben, right?
Much less pressure. And then when I got the chance to play football, I think I appreciated it a lot more.
Right, nice. Okay, right, we're going to dive straight in. We've got one here, an interesting one. It's an anonymous one on Instagram. Is Snus used a lot at the top level? Now, what Snus is, it's little tobacco pouches, right? Little disposable.
It's not chewing tobacco, is it?
No,
because you don't chew it. You just leave it in your gum.
Yeah. So, we're in America in the old days, you'd see people with chewing tobacco and they don't spit it into a spittoon. Yeah. This is little pouches of tobacco that people put on their gum, and it gives them a hit. The tobacco, I believe, will go quickly into the bloodstream and give them that little buzz. Now,
I think Jamie Vardy's made it a bit more sort of famous, hasn't he? Because he's obviously somebody that uses it.
Right. So, what's your experience of this, guys? Is it used a lot? And what are your thoughts?
It's used a lot.
It's used a lot.
And my thoughts on it are it's your choice with what you want to do. But the worst thing for me is what I hate is I see it lying around everywhere. Just put it in the bin.
Yeah.
It's like any bit of rubbish. It's like if you're going to do it and you're going to take it, just if you're going to replace it, then just put it in the bin. Don't leave it in the shower. Don't leave it in the corridor.
Even put it in your pocket and save it for later.
Because what you've got to remember is that other people that, like the other staff members that work in and around the offices, around training grounds, and they walk up and down and see that in the corridors, I just find it disrespectful. Just put it in the bin.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
It's very common in football. Yeah. I mean, very, very common.
Like you would see,
I would say
a high percentage of players use it.
40, 50% of players, maybe that much. Do you think?
Maybe more.
Maybe more. It is a very. It's obviously first came to prominence. I'd say probably 10 years ago.
Yeah.
It's a Scandinavian thing, isn't it? Yeah. I remember Jonas Olsson actually at West Brom was massive on it. Seb Larsson at Birmingham City, massive on it. It's kind of obviously there's a lot. It's a lot better for you than smoking. But what I think, I've never tried it. I hopefully never will, because I've never smoked or anything like that. But it's just that sort of relief of it just might calm you down.
It's
a little
nicotine,
bit.
isn't it? It give you a little buzz, a little bit of relaxation.
Yeah, I'd say it's kind of a lesser evil of smoking, basically.
I think when you look at modern day footballers, obviously they get tested all the time.
Yeah.
There's probably more pressure on them now ever to have really good lifestyle. You see like players like Marcus Rashford and lots of others that they do their own pre-season.
Yeah.
So they do a pre-season themselves, don't they? So I think it's probably just a small vice that a modern day player will have, which there's nothing too wrong with that, is there?
Maybe a little bit more research needs to go into it, maybe. But I'd say
that will come from the doctors, won't it, or the medical department. That's then the issues when that's brought up. But as far as I'm aware, there's no.
I don't think there's an issue with it. It's probably, like I say, it's a lesser evil than turning to some of the harder alternatives, which could be smoking or alcohol. So I'd say that as long as it's not a problem or an addiction, I think it's okay.
It's okay.
Fair enough.
Very common though. Very common.
Okay, we've got a question for Junior J50461. If you could have played under any manager in your career, guys, who would it have been? Ben, we'll start with you.
Listen to this, lads. You might have played under him, actually. Sam Allardyce.
No, I didn't.
Did you not?
No, he left Bolton just before I went.
So I remember Sam Allardyce. Paul Robinson, when I first got into the England team, was the goalkeeper, and he was at Blackburn with him. And he used to say, he said, "Father, honestly, he's the best manager in the world. For a goalkeeper, he's the best manager in the world. He is like, when you get the ball, you kick it as far as you possibly can away from your goal. Like, as far as you possibly can, yeah?" He says, "I would be taking free kicks from like the halfway line and sticking it onto the other goalkeeper." He said, and the manager used to just love it. He said the amount of time, he said, saves didn't matter to him. He said, but if I would launch the ball and it would land on the crossbar of their goal, he said he would be giving me a ripple from the side.
Even better, stick it on big Kevin Davis' head.
Oh, right? Murder.
Big Davo.
Absolute big Samba coming up from centre-back and all that. Christopher Samba. That to me sounds like heaven. Tony Pulis weren't a million miles off that, to be fair. I used to love it. It was very, with Tony Pulis, same as probably a Sam Allardyce, it was black and white. I knew exactly what I had to do. Stop the ball going in the back of the net, and when I got the ball in my hands or at my feet, it was get it as far away from my goal as possible.
Right. What about you, Robert?
I think now when you're looking at it, I'd love to have had that time under Pep, working under Pep or Jurgen, just with their mentality and what they expect and what they want from a player.
Do you think they would have made you a better player?
100%, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, just because of that demand, but that work rate. I love work rate. I just love that. My whole that winning. I want to win, even though it's impossible to win all the games.
Yeah.
But it's just that philosophy of.
I think that's what's missing a little bit from modern football nowadays, is having players and wanting to do it for the team. Do you know what I mean? You want your team to win on a Saturday, don't you? Yeah. It's as simple as that. And you'll do whatever it takes so that your team wins.
Yeah, but when I was playing, I'd love to have probably experienced someone like an Arsene Wenger or Sir Alex Ferguson.
Yeah.
They'd have been the two. So probably Arsene Wenger.
Yeah.
With the culture change of what he did with Arsenal, that'd have been good to work under that. So I'd have enjoyed, I reckon, working under Arsene.
I'd love to have seen a little Robbo mixing it up at Man City, left back, absolutely hard as nails, smashing people, but
into
then
the
also
midfield.
cultured, coming inside, playing 1-2s and move down the wing. Love that.
Thanks everybody for watching. We hope you enjoyed this clip of the Fozcast. If you would like to watch the full episode, it is now available exclusively on Spotify for free.